Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patdees. I go by Patdees, the traveling picker. I do appreciate everyone that's here that's watching the video. If you're new, guys, do me a favor, like and subscribe and comment. It is so hard to get people to comment sometimes. Um, I've been making YouTube videos now for 6 years here, and that's a grind in itself. And wow, it's not a money making. It's I don't know. I wish it was more. I always said if I could make $300 or $400 a month, that would pay for either a U-Haul rentals or a car payment. A small car payment, obviously. But I want to talk today about, man, just how rough when you're thinking of videos to make, talking about reselling. you know um, there's nothing I do that try to fake or try to in a sense create clickbait that when you're 5 minutes in you're like, there's a lot of work that goes into doing YouTube, and there's more work that goes into doing reselling. And because reselling is a part of our family's income, that's what I got to concentrate on more. But I like to really share the highs and the lows of reselling, and really that's what this video is going to be about. So there's going to be a little bit of whining from me, and I'm not going to lie to you, because you guys watched my last video talking about the little bit of the BS with selling on Amazon, and that's exactly what it is. So I got another return, so I'll quick talk about that one. Yeah, when I'm the type of person that I lay in bed at night. What can I do to be a better reseller, be a better YouTuber? And I watch these videos and I see people, oh, this is what they did on eBay. Now, I don't know. Maybe I should be watching other resellers, because I hear people, nope, I don't watch other resellers. One thing I've been watching lately is the what is it? The One Boys, Outdoor Boys. um, I enjoy basically the simplicity of. Of course, I'm not one that likes the cold myself. Here in Pennsylvania, we have 50-mile-an-hour winds this week and 10 degrees. Where like tonight, they said the wind chill is going to be -15. But I've been watching the Outdoor Boys. I like the simplicity of. I guess it goes back to when I was a kid in the Cub Scouts. Always, could I, in Rambo, could I survive in the woods? Making my own food, and I don't know. I don't know if I could do it anymore. Maybe that's a I think he's probably no. I think he did say no. So he's probably about 5 or 6 years younger than me, but he's successful doing that YouTube channel. So basically, I want to talk about is reselling, and just kind of talk a little bit about what the plans are 2025. I don't know about anybody else, but I keep a notebook here, and 5 subject notebook, and I do, and I'm just going to mention basically. I sell on eBay, I sell on Amazon, and I sell on whatnot. I do a couple flea markets, 2 to 4 dates a year, big deal, and occasionally a YouTube Black Friday event, and occasionally a Facebook Marketplace, but not enough to like I just sold a slicer on Facebook Marketplace that was mine. I had in storage for like 8 years. It was a backup when I used to be in the restaurant business, and it was like a $2,000 Burkle slicer, Italian slicer, and I won at $850. And I'm like, the hell with it. I sold it at $550, and the guy's gonna pick it up Saturday, and gonna use the money. Honestly, gonna use the money to pay bills and stuff like that. I've been hurt in the last 2 months, and part of it's my own fault, because, and how do I say this? If you guys follow me, and know that I always do in November a I always try to focus on whatnot that the last 2 years that I was doing it on YouTube too, but before that, but I always wanted to give back and do things for the kids, and but when you do that comes sacrifice, that I don't make no money, and that's exactly what happened. And just bad timing. because I hurt my back and I wound up in the hospital. And I bought a. I spent 4,000. I had 4,000 like $300 in my account, and I said, "That's it. I'm gonna buy these toys, these supermarket sweep toy, or not supermarket sweep, supermarket toys." And I'll put a picture up if anybody wants one. $30. They're normally 55, and depending upon where you live, shipping could be $12 to $18. If you want to support me and just buy one, I'll sell it to you cheaper than you would get it on Amazon. Because I'm going to be chasing that. I sold like 2 of them. I wound up actually donating like 7 of them because some people supported me on that toy drive. Like we'd have like a $25 sponsor for and it's basically what I have into each one. So right now, if I can get $30, it pretty much it'll break even. But it took up a lot of space. I couldn't even empty it out. When I was in the hospital there, my son had to do that. But November was just tough. I got a late start and doing the toy drive, and I just found it. I was focused so much on that, and was actually losing money selling some toys. And then we came in December, and I did do okay on eBay selling Christmas lights, believe it or not. Thank God. But I had started out with 2 cases that I had left over from like a year ago, and I found another guy that had 30 cases of them, and he just wanted to move on, so I bought them from him, and I just sold 5 yesterday on eBay, so I'm almost sold out. So that was nice because that was about a $2,000, and if it wasn't for that, I'd be in trouble. And then the timing of it, my wife had surgery back in September, so she was out for 3 months on a partial disability payment, but you lose 2 weeks and then you don't get a full. So we lost basically with her about a month's worth of income out of 3 months. Thankfully, she's back at work, but she still has issues with her foot, and this is kind of why I also want to make the video, kind of just to kind of get this off my chest and kind of talk about it. Me and I never talked about it, but I have no choice. I can't quit reselling, and I think there's still always going to be a reselling's not going away. It's, you think you could do everything perfect, but it's impossible. But the goal is really the next 2 years is get it to a point where it can support the family. She was making enough at her job to pay 70% of the bills, and I had to pretty much come up with a roughly $1,700 a month, to make up the difference. But that turned to be a problem because November and December I was not making enough to make the difference, and fell behind the 8 ball, and I made that bad choice. And I'll get into talking about the numbers a little bit and this and that, and then, oh my God, Whatnot has been a little bit a thorn, and I like Whatnot because it's another platform to sell, but the margins are so low, and I found somebody that sells on there for years, and a younger person, and but you know what? I'm not afraid to take advice or learn from anyone that can simplify or make money and do better. I take that advice all the time. Everybody's, in the past it used to be just list on eBay, and it doesn't matter if it's not stuff that people want, it's just not going to sell. So Chris, the 22nd, 2 days before Christmas Eve, I spontaneous said I'm going to do a Whatnot. I'm going to give away $25, $25 in gift cards. Now, mistake I made, and now I know, and I won't do it again, I'll be honest, because just the way of some people, how they handle it. I said, let's try to gain some followers. And, if at a 250, I thought, wow, I'm going to do really, really good. I'm going to probably gain 100 or 200 because you didn't have to buy nothing. But I knew I still had stuff in the buy it now, and I ran stuff at $3. Well, I gave away 10 $25 gift cards, and 6 of those gift cards, nobody bought nothing. I wound up doing $150 on that show, minus fees. I netted like $100. So I'm like, oh crap. So I put myself behind $150 from doing that show, and the next day, was the 23rd. We had made plans that we were, my wife had her job, and I was still, I had just had a back injection a couple days before, so I'm still kind of not feeling the best, and it's finally worked, but I'm still doing, doing physical therapy. And then on top of it, if you don't know and follow me, I've been, for the second time in 8 years, doing cancer treatments. So I had the 24th, the day before Christmas, I had my appointment where I have to take a monthly shot on top of the pills I take daily, and a follow up on a PET scan that I had done 3 weeks prior. So my schedule was busy. We're going down to see my father-in-law. So I pull in the parking lot of Walmart Target. My wife is at physical therapy too because of her foot. I go down, no lie, a half a mile away. I said, I'll be back in like 10 minutes for you. I was back in an hour. I went into the Target parking lot and I got into Target park. We were at a standstill. 5 minutes into the parking lot. It took me an hour to get out of the parking lot. I never made it into the store. I'm like, oh my God, great. So I never got the gift cards that I was gonna get, and yeah, I still had to ship. Because I like to ship in one day, so we were delivering stuff to my wife's sister, my sister-in-law, because we weren't going to see her Christmas Eve, so we had to drive 45 miles. So I go into the Walmart in that one. I get in there, I get into the parking lot, and there's probably 100 people in line. So I'm looking at the gift card rack, and there's no more Walmart gift cards. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, we had to get something for the car, something like that. So I go back in the auto, and he had a couple back there. So I wound up getting a couple of those, and I made a choice that the people that bought something from me that night, because there was other things, and to get those out, I would ship those with the gift card. So we go down, we celebrate with my father-in-law, just go down and God, how embarrassing. Thankfully, my father-in-law gave us $200 for Christmas, and a couple days later it came in handy for groceries. That's how bad fourth quarter was for me this year, and it hurt. Actually, a friend of mine, who I know for years on Facebook, I don't know why, he says to me, and I didn't even say nothing to him. We're not even like that close, but he says, "Hey Pat, what's your PayPal?" I'm like, "Why?" I don't know, maybe he was gonna buy something from me on eBay or whatnot, and I'm like, and he sent me a couple $100 on there. He sent it over, and I had a little loan on my, so I didn't even get the full amount because they took their fee and they took a little bit of the 30% they took. So, but I was like, oh my God, like I was shocked and grateful because, anybody gives you a couple $100, and it came at the right time. So, anyways, I even then I had a couple eBay orders. I'm like, oh, I'm getting some eBay orders. Then I'm like, okay, we're not doing no whatnots for a week, and didn't leave the house for 4 or 5 days. So I go back, and I think I did one. I think I did the end of the year whatnot, and I go and get more gift cards, but the gift cards go out in an envelope, and oh my God, the last 2 days I've only done 2 shows on whatnot, and they've been absolutely terrible. I haven't been able to crack $100. And people, where's my gift card? Where's my gift card? I'm like, okay, they're sent out. They don't even want to hear nothing. Hey, you got to go, going through cancer treatment. Is this issue? Blah, blah, blah. They don't want to hear it. And we're talking about people that didn't even buy nothing. And it made me, if I'm going to do it from now on, I'll give $5 for followers. And then someone says, oh, you should have sent it digital. People that don't understand whatnot don't realize you still got to send something out. So sending it digital, you still got to send, an item out. But I was like, wow, some people are just so ungrateful, and they come in, and I notice like when we're doing giveaways, especially people that don't have to buy nothing, you'll have 30 people in, and then the minute that one's done, you're like 10. Like people just go around. I don't know, guys. Every time, I can tell you, I've won from Pirate. I've won from Full Time. I've bought from them numerous times. I've supported them a lot of times, and Full Time Reseller and Pirate have bought, not a lot, but they've bought from me. But I don't know. I'm people say, "Oh, why are you upset?" And it's like on my Amazon video. Well, even today, I got a return. A guy gets a headphone 70 days or 66 days ago, and Amazon is allowing him to return it because he said, "Oh, I'm not hearing right out of the headphones." So now this guy is going to return. So it's like 3 or 4 returns in a row just without the cost of the product is costing me $75. You know, Jesus, you sell a couple things on eBay and you're not even getting the money because you're having to give it up for these clowns. 66 days. So this is the whining part, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. But I'm telling you the reality of it. I'm trying to really. I've been stressed out about it, and people said, "Oh, don't take it and I try not to take it personal, but man, people know how to. I mean, I had a guy say, "Hey, my I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not a type of person that wants to out people. It doesn't even matter. But man, it makes you. I'm going to make a video what I learned from 2024 doing whatnot. A guy says, like they say to you, call the post office. I'm like, call the. And a guy says, it says it was delivered. I'm so confused. I'm like, I don't know. There's been some issues with the mail. Now, obviously, there was I didn't get in. I didn't explain to the person, like, look, I got physical therapy, cancer treatment, Christmas, but I did, And then I get an email from whatnot saying, and so I said, well, why did you report me? And then he's cussing at me, and I'm like, nope. From now on, when I give $25 gift cards, it's going to be for buyers only. I'll do $5 for followers and stuff like that. But people don't realize, I mean, I've given, honestly, at least $1,500 in gift cards, and I'm grateful for whatnot. But I'm not a big seller on there. But yeah, when I say tough fourth quarter, it was a tough fourth quarter. I'm trying to set things up for 2025. I'll have a lot of plans, and obviously, but boy, it seems like when you got to hit the ground running when you go, and I'm already here. We are on basically a week into it, and I'm already behind the 8 ball. But I'm trying to put things in place to you're gonna see things. You're gonna see things. I got some plans. We're gonna do something big, and we definitely got to work on the numbers because. And I say there's certain things that I sell on, but it's set up as an LLC company, and I'm not even talking about what my older son sells. He has a full-time job, but he's selling on whatnot. And he's sometimes shows are doing better than him for what he's selling. So we're gonna spin off one of the channels. Dee's Disney Deals. I'll put that link down below. If you guys want to follow me, it's all Disney items. And if you're new to whatnot, I'll put even an invite code down there. You can get $15 free. You don't even have to buy from me, but if you click on the link down there, and then I'll put my whatnot. If you want, it doesn't matter. I don't care where you spend the 15. If you don't spend it for, the way it works out, it used to be that way. They used to give 25 bucks. Now we get $5, but it is what it is. I'll take the $5. They're not giving money out like they used to. So I keep a book, and I can tell you every week what I've done. I've gotten better. I'm doing a lot of things to hopefully. I've been cleaning up in the basement and trying to get the garage in order. But it's a lot of work. People don't realize. So I'm gonna post up here. eBay. I have 2 stores. The one store was way up because I just kind of started it last year for a little, and then the other store was way down. And I on eBay sold 20. I'm gonna do round numbers. $23,000. So that was down 66% on the Patdees one. And on the other one, it was up phenomenal, but still, it was only $23,000. With honestly, with the shipping and the fees, $11,000 lost. So right away, 50% gone. On Amazon, oh my God, Amazon turned out to be a total like we're going back to 2019 numbers. I mean. I went COVID year, and I should make a separate video. I did over $200,000 on Amazon, and this past year, 11,000. So, and that was due to many factors. It can't find things, or you go to list things on there, and you'll find things like, okay, I'll buy a pallet of something. Oh, you'll go to list it, and nope, can't sell it then. And so it's very risky sometimes, because you could be 2 weeks into it. Oh yeah, you could sell it, and then the minute you can't. That happened with a lot of people with Legos. I last year I did very well because not when I say last year, 2024. So 2023 I did very well in the beginning of the year because I had scored 3 pallets of Legos, bigger sets, but still did very well. Now you can't even sell. I can't even sell Legos on Amazon. So I don't know. Whatnot was the big. Did almost $44,000 on Whatnot with like 8,300 orders, but my average was $5.24. And let me tell you, when I was selling Halloween stuff and I was selling I was selling a lot of bundles, so I was selling a lot of times 5 to 10 items, because it was one bid for $5, so 50 cents an item. Um, that was I did 206 lives. 234 hours, 8,334 orders to make it official, and roughly 160, $86.45. Right off the bat with Whatnot and any discrepancies with shipping, they took 10,000. So right away it was down 44. It was down to 33,000. So $11,000 gone there. So the total for 2024 was roughly $77,000, and that's down from an average. I forget what I did in 2023. 2023 was tough because I found out, and again, and I feel kind of bad making this video because I don't look. Every day I get up, I'm grateful, and that's when I found out I had cancer again, and my treatments are working. Sometimes people see me like, oh, are you? They think I'm done with it, and unfortunately. When you go metastatic, you're gonna be on some sort of treatment forever, because when it's not in its original site, it spreads. They're always going to be worried that it's gonna. Luckily, it's contained and it shrunk some, but I try to. I don't use that as an excuse. Actually, I like reselling as a distraction, not to worry, and it gives me say, hey, I'm gonna be here and keep going in the reselling. But 2023 was probably the previous years, the average. I think 2022, I think was around 100. I don't know. We did 100. I don't know, 100. But it seemed like for about 3 years. No, because 21, 22, maybe 23, we still did a 100,000. But so last year was down roughly $27,000, and it wasn't really lack of finding things was kind of part of the problem and Whatnot. I was so focused on that you have to sell $3, you have to sell $5 items, and that's changing this year. I would rather sell $25 item and make $5 than sell $5 item and make $1. I know people say, oh well, yeah, but 5 of those is the same as one of those. Problem is, it's much harder to sell 5 of those little ones, believe it or not, and it's more complex than that. To get into talking about all that, but I almost gave up on Whatnot, and I have 6,600 followers, and but I've noticed some other even big sellers that it's it's got its like anything, it's got its ups and downs. And I'm not the type of seller also to go on Whatnot and sell stuff that I don't know. I just have this. I see things that are sold on there that are way overpriced, that if people would buy from eBay, they would get much cheaper. Now, the argument always is for some sellers that basically stuff that is sold on Whatnot, it is true. There's things that you sell on Whatnot for 10, you would get 20 on eBay. But then there are some people that have the following that are big enough, or the hype of it, or people get caught up in it, that they overpay. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be getting messages like, hey, I bought this for $30. You ripped me off. I could have sold this for $10. Now maybe there's people on Whatnot that won't, or sellers that won't. Well, that never happens. Um, I don't know. We don't. That's one thing doing reselling. It's a lonely world sometimes, and it used to be nice. I used to do lives and get you talk shop, invite people, and there's not many people that really go live anymore, or just I don't know. It seems like some lives are very clicky. If you're not in the loop, and I like when you can be part of something that everybody can uplift one another. But oh my God, I've seen it even on Whatnot recently. People used to do raid trains and collab together, and then this one can't get along, or this one, and like, oh, like I just don't get it. Why not? I don't know. I guess I think kind of different, but I definitely higher goals and bigger goals than what I did for 2024. Some people could say, "Hey, $77,000 is not that bad," but what I say to you, $11,000 off the top to eBay, 11,000 to Whatnot. And then, when you're doing 11,000 on Amazon, cut that in half. So right off the top, 26,000 off of 77, and you're already down to 50, and you haven't even bought the stuff. And obviously, there's other costs associated with, realistically, it was probably a $15,000 to $20,000 profit. That's just get by money, and then not including what I gave away and what I donated. And again, I like to. That's something I'm changing up. That instead of me bearing the burden of doing that in November, I love doing it because of the backstory as a kid that I benefited from stuff like that. But every month now, I want to do something to say, hey, during this show, like sell little things. And I donated even a pallet. I spent $600 on a pallet. It was mostly groceries. I donated. We kept a little bit, but we're gonna do with all that. I spent $600. It was like $2,000 worth of groceries. So I'm basically changing it up. That it's the Patdees toy and food drive, and every month, like right now in December, like I sold a couple little things that cost me $1 or $2, and I sell them for $5 or $6. And I put all that money, so $83.20. I started with January. So in a sense, like a Christmas, I was gonna say build a kitty, but sometimes like build a kitty. What's that mean? Basically like a Christmas club. So basically, come November, December is when I do it. But that I'm like a Christmas club. I put money in, so if I can on average get myself $150 a month and get to the point where, boom, I have $1,500 and then still do something. I did the shirts, and the shirts helped because people bought some of the shirts, and they were paid for by the sponsors. But the toys I was selling, there was no money. And I had some ladies, oh Pat, I don't have any kids, I would love to buy toys. So fourth quarter was rough. I mean, I remember back in the day, man, I could do, like, for example, 110,000, and 45, 50,000 of that was fourth quarter alone in those 3 months. Not this year. And but I need to get back on, because for me it's, I hate using the word depressing, because I'm not the type of person that just because everything I'm going through, I'm grateful, but I want to be responsible. I want to be, you become envious. You see other people doing, and it's like, I know I can do that. And but when you watch some of these other YouTubers, there's only a couple of them, so I'm not gonna, the people that like are making money from YouTube, obviously have that as an income, and even if reselling doesn't work out as much for them, it doesn't matter, because they have a nice. I don't have that. I wish I did, but I don't. And we're talking. There's a couple that make videos that it's $50,000 plus a year doing YouTube, and you could do the same exact thing, and they just got lucky. Maybe they were doing that when COVID was shut down, while I was going around almost 800 stores and killing it reselling. Where they were making videos talking about it but not selling as much, and it took off. So I do appreciate everyone that has gotten this far, 27 minutes in this part, watching it. Tell me what your thoughts are, and didn't mean to complain and whine, but man, that's one thing I always, and I just, because I'm not reading nothing, this is all off my head. I wish Whatnot had a community little tab that I could say, hey guys, your cards went out. We weren't live for 5 days. But man, the 2 or 3 ugly messages I got, like, you got something for free that didn't cost you nothing, and you're bitching because you didn't get it fast enough. It's like, you know, like, they question you, like, I'm not even in a financial position, but yet I did it, and I even, that's another subject. I even, like 5 6 weeks there, bought from other people and whatnot. I always try to be the good guy, throw my support behind, and wish it would come back around for me. I don't know. That's a weakness I have. I take things to heart, and I put myself out there to be nice to other people, but to the point, the last 2 weeks, I've struggled, and I haven't even paid my December mortgage yet. So my wife is back to work. Now yeah. It's like, okay, got to get oil in the house. We got 10 degrees and stuff like that. So this is the life of a reseller. Yeah, did $77,000 last year. Netted probably $15,000 to $20,000. My biggest expense in reselling is the storage units. And my wife doesn't understand. Like, oh, a lot of that stuff is duplicate stuff that I already sell. That, yeah, I mean, I could sell it, mate, but nobody wants it on whatnot. There's some things in there, but I'd have to dig out it, obviously, because it hurt my back, and and in 10-degree weather, it's, but things got to change. If I do $1,000 more this year, things would be better. But my goal is much higher than that, and I don't need to do big numbers what some of these people do. That's not the case. But fourth quarter, it was tough. So, guys, again, thumbs up and comment below. Tell me what you think.